How's it going, y'all? And welcome to Nature Time with Luke. For the next 6 months, I'm going to be living in the boreal forest of Alberta, Canada, which is somewhere that I've never birded before. So join me as I search for birds in Canada's boreal forest. This is Lesser Slave Lake Provincial Park, a roughly 80 square kilometer swath of land containing both boreal forest and foothills ecosystems, otherwise known as my home for the next 6 months. Each year, between 1 and 3 billion birds of over 300 different species will migrate from Central and South America to Canada's boreal forest, where they will breed and raise their young. The boreal forest is a cold weather forest that can be characterized by its short growing season and its makeup of predominantly coniferous species of trees, such as pines, spruces, and larches. When I first arrived at the park at the beginning of May, the forest was absolutely teeming with American robins. Along with this iconic species, the forest was absolutely crawling with white-throated sparrows. Something that I've had to keep in mind while birding the boreal forest is that I am not the largest creature who lives here. On many of my hikes, I found signs of antler rubbings, bear claw marks, and even last week, I was passing through an area that looked like it would have been perfect habitat for moose, when lo and behold, I found multiple piles of moose poop along the trail. When sharing a space with large and potentially dangerous animals, it's always a good idea to take the correct safety precautions and keep your wits about you. Even smaller species like this red fox can still pose a threat to humans, as they can be carriers of deadly viral diseases such as rabies. So please, make sure to always practice proper animal safety when you're out in the wilderness. Don't be like one of those dummies who you see on Instagram getting chased down by a bison in Yellowstone as they're trying to take a better photo with their iPhone. Now let's get back to birding. As spring migrants began to arrive in the boreal forest, the treetops were filled with the activity of foraging yellow-rumped warblers. All throughout the forest, the air was loud with the sound of vocalizing black and white warblers. Although black and white warblers may not be as colorful as some of the other American warblers, I've always loved their simple yet striking, zebra-esque plumage. As days passed, the newly grown leaves transformed the forest into a breathtaking sea of greenery. Although the forest was still densely populated with the same American robins and white-throated sparrows, new and beautiful species began to show up. One of my favorites being this absolutely gorgeous rose-breasted grosbeak. Singing loudly overhead was a new contributor to the chorus of birdsong. The Ovenbird. Perched along the edge of a clearing was none other than an eastern Phoebe, a species of flycatcher that gets its name from its call, which sounds like it's saying the word Phoebe. As I watched this individual, it never strayed far from the park's interpretive center, the Boreal Center for Bird Conservation, and for good reason. This bird and its mate had built a nest on the building's overhang. Not far away, another species of flycatcher could be heard calling from the woods. The least flycatcher. The least flycatcher is the smallest species of flycatcher in North America, and it can be identified by its solid white eye ring and its characteristic chebec call. Also singing along the margins of the forest was a chipping sparrow. As you might expect, within Lesser Slave Lake Provincial Park, there are many points of access to Lesser Slave Lake, Alberta's third largest body of water. While watching a lone Gadwall drift across the water, I noticed some movement out of the corner of my eye on the beach. A Killdeer. The killdeer is a large species of plover that can be found all across North America, and despite being a species of shorebird, killdeers can be found in a wide variety of different habitats, such as sandbars and grazed fields. As I watched the killdeer make its way up the beach, it was joined by another individual, which was likely its mate, and eventually, the pair was joined by an American crow as they continued to forage along the edge of the water. All in all, it was an excellent day at the beach. As the days continued to pass, life was erupting everywhere in the boreal forest. Bees busied themselves by pollinating flowers, butterflies began to show up in droves, and mushrooms emerged all across the forest floor. Each day, more and more bird species arrived at the boreal forest, filling the canopies with color and the air with the sound of birdsong. One of the most striking species which arrived was none other than the American Redstart, a gorgeous species of warbler which provided me with incredible looks. So far, my time in Alberta has been absolutely incredible, and each day I feel a little more settled into this temporary home. Although I still feel homesick from time to time, my excellent roommates and coworkers have made this transition so much easier. One thing which has made me feel particularly at home has been the nightly tradition of movie nights with my coworkers. Each night we watch a movie and give it a score out of 10. Some of the highlights thus far have been Ong-Bak, Muay Thai Warrior, watching Morbius and all ripping at a new one, and the night I got to show one of my favorite cheesy shark movies, Sharktopus. If you haven't seen this movie, you don't know what you're missing. So yeah, if you have any movie recommendations, leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're doing well and that your spring is off to a good start. And of course, go bird or go home.